Welcome to my presentation. In this presentation, we shall see how to simplify exponents containing multiple fractions. So let us take a simple example. Let's say we have a fraction 3 over 2 raised to the power of 2, and we are multiplying this by another fraction 2 over 3 raised to the power of 2. Now, what do? We want to be able to break it down into different steps, and in the step number 1, we're going to identify the base term, we'll identify the exponential term, and in step 2, we'll apply the concept. So in step number 1, let's write it down here. Step number 1, what is the base term for the first term? For the first term, the base term is 3 over 2, and the exponential term is 2. And for the second term, the base term is 2 over 3, and the exponential term is 2. Therefore, in our step number 2, we're going to recall the concept and then apply it to this particular problem. What is the concept telling us? The concept is telling us the number of times the base term needs to be repeated is indicated to us in the exponential term. So we're going to expand each one of the exponents which is in the fraction format here. For the first term is, let's write down the problem one more time. 3 over 2 raised to the power of 2 times 2 over 3 raised to the power of 2. So in this case, we're going to expand the first term 2 times, 3 over 2 times 3 over 2. And the second term we have here is 2 over 3, and that is going to be repeated 2 times, 2 over 3 times 2 over 3. And now we're going to take 2 terms at a time and simplify the math. So when we simplify the math, we're going to multiply the numerators, multiply the denominators, and that is how the fractions work. 3 times 3 is 9, divided by 2 times 2 is 4, multiplied by, we're going to multiply these two fractions. 2 times 2 is 4, and then 3 times 3 is 9. So if we know from fractions that if we have numbers in the numerator and numbers in the denominator which are multiples of one another, we can simplify them. 9 times 1 is 9, 9 times 1 is 9, 4 times 1 is 4, 4 times 1 is 4, therefore we are left with 1 divided by 1, which is equal to 1. And therefore, this is our answer. And therefore, when we have an exponent of this kind, 3 over 2 raised to the power of 2 times 2 over 3 raised to the power of 2, the answer is going to be equal to 1. This is how we want to understand how to simplify exponents containing multiple fractions. Let's look at another example. Let's say we have a fraction of this nature, 3 over 2 raised to the power of 2, and the second fraction we have is 2 over 3 raised to the power of 2. In this case, the only difference between this example and the previous example is we have introduced a negative sign to the base term, and therefore let us break it down into these different steps. In step number 1, we will identify the base term, identify the exponential term. In step number 2, we'll recall the concept and apply the concept. For the first term in this problem, which is 3 over 2, the base term is negative 3 over 2. The negative sign is inside the parentheses, therefore negative 3 over 2, and the exponential term is 2. And for the second term, the base term is 2 over 3, and the exponential term is 2. And now what we're going to do is we're going to recall the concept and then apply it. What is the concept telling us? The concept is telling us the number of times the base term needs to be repeated is given to us in the exponential term. So let us rewrite the problem one more time. Negative 3 over 2 raised to the power of 2 times 2 over 3 raised to the power of 2. And the way we want to write it out is The base term negative 3 over 2 is going to be repeated 2 times, negative 3 over 2 times negative 3 over 2, like that. And then the second term, the base term, will be repeated 2 times, 2 over 3 times 2 over 3. We have all the steps which are involved in this particular problem. We have written it down, and now it is a matter of simplifying the math. Negative times negative is a positive, 3 times 3 is a 9, and then in the denominator we have 2 times 2, which is equal to 4. We're going to take this and then multiply to the simplified form of these two fractions. 2 times 2 is 4, divided by 3 times 3 is 9. So we're going to multiply these two terms, and when we multiply them out, it's going to come out as 9 times 4 divided by 4 times 9. As we mentioned before, when we have numbers which are multiples of each other in the numerator and denominator, we can simplify them. 9 times 1 is 9, 9 times 1 is 9, 4 times 1 is 4, 4 times 1 is 4, therefore we have 1 divided by 1, which is equal to 1. And therefore, when we had a problem of this nature, negative 3 over 2, this thing raised to the power of 2 times 2 over 3 raised to the power of 2 is equal to 1, and therefore this is our answer. This is where we want to leave it. In my next presentation, we shall see how to simplify exponents containing decimal numbers. Okay?